The purpose of this video is to give a quick tutorial about how to make an escape room using Google Forms. So before I show you how to actually create the escape room, I want to show you what it looks like from the student side. So here we have our escape room in Google Forms. Very first question, what is your name? And what class period are you? The first section we have here, multiple choice questions. The answer to this question is A. I select A. The answer to this question is B. Let's select A and see what happens. I click next. I get this face that says try again. I go next again, and it brings me back to the same section, multiple choice questions. I change it to the correct answer. I click next. I get a nice job star. The next section, short written response. Write money to get this one correct. So I'm going to type money because I want to get it correct. And then write video games to get this one correct. And you'll notice that even though I typed video games, it's not correct. And the reason for that is because of this capital V. It needs to be case sensitive. So if you're expecting a lowercase answer, a student needs to give a lowercase answer. If you're expecting an uppercase answer, you got to give an uppercase answer. I click next. It says nice job. If I have one of these wrong, I can click next forever, and it is not going to let me move forward until this is correct. The next section is number response. So this question, what is 2 plus 2? We all know that is 4. What is the number larger than 3 squared? I'm going to say 9, even though that's not larger than 3 squared. And I get this response, nope, higher. So this is a custom text, which I've put in there. So let's put in the number 3141. I click next. I get a nice job star. Next again. You made it. Woohoo. Submit. We're done. We escaped the escape room. So now let me go back and let's talk about how to create an escape room like this using Google Forms and hopefully help you avoid some of the pitfalls that I ran into when I was learning how to do this. So here we are in Google Drive, and I've got my resources here, my little sad face and my star. Those will be useful in a moment. And I'm going to click New, More, Google Forms. So we're just making a new Google form here. I'm going to say escape room 2.0. If you wanted to give a description about the escape room, if you wanted to add a little bit of a narrative, this would be a good place to put it in the description. But I'm not going to do that for this tutorial. So I always start my escape rooms with 2 questions. What is your name? And you'll notice it automatically changes it to a short answer. If it doesn't do that, you can select this box and choose short answer. I want this to be a required question. I go up here to this dot, add question, and what period are you in? Period 1, period 2, period 3, period 4. This will also be a required question. So here's the reason why I do that. When you go back to your editor, when you're all done making this, and you get students that start to respond, you can click on this button. Here it says View Responses in Sheets. And what that'll do is that every single student who has answered the escape room will show up here. So here's a cool thing that happens. Notice that I have 6 responses currently. Over here, I have an escape room that I am just about to submit. So let's go ahead and submit this one. Submit. And you'll notice that it automatically populates in the Google Sheet. Now, the problem is that as students are answering this, it's going to populate it from the top down in the order in which they respond. It's not going to separate it by class period. So By adding this question, what period are you in? I can go to this column and then sort sheet A to Z, and it will automatically populate, or it automatically sort everybody into the periods that they are supposed to be in. So this is just a super handy thing that I do. If you want to go through and do each student individually, that's on you. But I think that this is super handy to do. So I always put that question in there. So we have what is your name? We have what period are you in? Both are required. So you'll notice it has that little red star next to it. And then we're going to click this button on the bottom right. It says add section. So add section, we're going to say short written response. Or I'm sorry, multiple choice question. And then once again, if you want to put a little description, you can do that. If you're doing an escape room that's a type of web quest, this is a very good place to put a link to the website itself. So now I want to put add question. And then we're going to say the answer to this question is A. So I'll add my answers, A, B, C, D. I want this to be a required question. Every single one of my questions is going to be required. And then I'm also going to click on these three dots here, and I'm going to select go to section based on answer. Now, we're not going to touch this yet, but this is what makes the escape room work. I'm going to go ahead and add two more sections. This one I'm going to say nice job. This one I'm going to say try again. And then I'm going to add one final section here, and we're going to jump ahead a little bit, and I'm going to say short answer questions. So just to recap, we have our multiple choice questions with our question here. I have go to section based on answer selected. I have a nice job section, a try again section, and a short answer question section. For the nice job section, I'm going to click add image, go to my Google Drive, and then I'm going to find the image that I made that will go with this particular section. And I'm going to do the same thing for try again. Make sure that when you're editing a section, it has this little blue strip. If it doesn't have that blue strip, click somewhere on the box. So if I want to edit this one, I have to click on it, and you'll notice that the blue bar shows up on the left-hand side. So my try again section, I need to add my try again sad face. And there it is. So now, the answer to this question is A. If this is correct, we want this to go to the nice job section. So we're going to go to section 3, nice job. B, C, and D are all incorrect. So we're going to go here. We're going to go section 4, try again, try again, try again. Below each section, you're going to notice it says after section 2, blah, blah, blah. These will override this. If I were to leave this as continue to next section, it would follow this rule. But because I'm saying, because of whatever answer you're giving me, go to this section, it ignores this part. So, a student answers A, the correct answer. They go to section 3, nice job. We do want to go down here, and it says after section 3, we don't want to continue to the next section, because if they continue to the next section, they're going to go to the try again phase. So after section 3, we want to go to the next section of questions. So go to section 5, short answer questions. For the try again phase, we want them to go back to here, right? We want them to go back and actually try those questions again. So we notice that this is in section 2. So beneath the try again phase, it says after section 4, go to section 2. And what will happen is that if they get it wrong, they will be in a constant cycle of going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until they finally get it right. So let's take a look at that. So the answer to this question is A. I click B. I click next. I get this try again page. I click next again, and it takes me back to here. If I click A, I click next, gives me a nice job star, and then it takes me to the short answer question section. So all looks good. Next up, we've got short answer questions. So we're going to make sure that we're editing this document or this section. We click add question, and then we're going to say the answer is Texas. I want this to be a short answer question. It's going to be required. And then I want to click on the 3 dots. Instead of it saying go to section based on answer, we're going to click response validation. And then over here on the left-hand side, instead of number, we're going to click text. And then we have a couple of options. The ones that are going to mostly pertain to us are contains or doesn't contain. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be clicking contain. Now, you need to phrase your questions so that students will naturally come upon a correct answer. So I'm going to say Texas, capital Texas. And if they get it wrong, I'm going to say, nope, try again, partner, because it's Texas. And then, yeah, we'll not do a second question here. So the answer is Texas. If they write Texas, they're good. If they don't, they're not. It's required. We're all good. So because Google Forms will not let you move on unless you get this correct, we actually do not need a try again page because this will never happen after this kind of question. So we add section, making sure that we're editing this part, right? We click add section. If we didn't have this selected and we clicked add section, it would add a section all the way up here and mess everything up. So we don't want to do that. So we add section, nice job. Put the star there. We're all good. We can leave this as it is. After section 5, continue to next section. And nice job, nice job. Add another section, continue to next section. We move on. The only time that you'll need to do this whole back and forth after section 4, go to this the only time you're going to need to do that is if you're doing multiple choice questions. Multiple choice questions are great, but they are a bit of a pain when it comes to actually telling Google Forms what to do if they get it correct or incorrect. So we have a short answer question. They need to write Texas exactly. If they don't write it correct, they won't be able to proceed. If they do get it correct, they're going to get a nice job. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real fast. So I write Texas. Let's do it lowercase. Nope, try again, partner. I click next. It won't let me go. Capitalize it. Next. I get a nice job star. And then it takes me to the math section. So everything's working out. So the final section that we're going to talk about is math. What is 2 plus 2? The math section is definitely one of the most versatile sections when it comes to your response validation. So we're clicking a number. Excuse me. And then we have many different options. You can see here greater than equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to, between, not between, is number, whole number. So if I wanted a number between 2 and 14, I could say, I could do that. For this particular type of question, what is 2 plus 2? I'm going to click equals to 4, and my custom text is going to be, you're wrong. Not very positive message there, but you know, it's 2 plus 2, come on. And then we'll throw in another one just for fun. Let's say, what's a number between 3 and 21? So number between 3 and 21. Try again. Make it required. Add a section. Nice job. You can kind of see how once you get into the flow of this, it goes very, very quickly once you figure out what you're doing. So we have our 2 questions. Continue to next section. Nice job. Nice job. And then you can add another section after this, but you don't need to. What will happen is that as soon as they finish this question, they'll get nice job, and then below that, they'll get a submit button. However, if you're going with the escape room theme, it might be worth saying, you escaped. Nice job. So let's preview this, the whole thing. Speeding through this now. We're so good. We got a nice job sticker. Next. And it says, you escaped. Nice job. Submit. And now if we go back to the editor, you can also access this by clicking on the form itself in your Google Drive. That's what will pop up. We now have a tab for responses. I can now click Create Spreadsheet. You can name it whatever you like. In this case, I didn't actually name the form. But let's say response tutorial. Ooh, come on now. Response tutorial, create. And then it automatically opens up a sheet with my name, the period I was in, and then the answers. The answers don't really matter that much because they're going to be correct. If they got all the way to this point, it's correct. So the great thing about an escape room is that everything's done. If they submitted a response, they got it correct. That being said, what I like to do is that sometimes on this, on that final page, where it says you escaped, sometimes I like to add a, how do you think you did, or any questions about this, something like that. Make it a paragraph. You can make it required if you want, but that way you can get a little bit of feedback from your students if you desire that. Now, let me show you one of the pitfalls that I've run into, particularly when it comes to multiple choice questions. And I actually just realized this as I was preparing for this video. So this is my original tutorial that I showed at the start. And I'm going to show you a quirky little thing. So I'll put my name. I'll say period 2. And then I'm going to answer this one incorrect. And then this one correctly. And then watch what happens if I click next. It takes me to the nice job star. So the reason for this is that as far as Google Forms is concerned, when it comes to these questions, and it says go to section 3, go to section 4, it will go with whatever the final question says. So that's kind of a problem. For that reason, I try to avoid multiple choice questions actually, because it will it will cause you issues, because if you had 5 multiple choice questions on here, you got the first 4 wrong, and then the last one you got correct, it would actually take you to the next page. So that's just something to keep in mind. If there's a way around that, I haven't found it yet, but it is problematic. So just keep that in mind. So I hope that that helps as you make these escape rooms. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll try to answer it. I'll try to stay current with it. And good luck.